So, welcome back, and now we're going to look at our major assignments. On this page, do not necessarily go by the information that's on here. The due dates might change, and the count for how much it counts, that may also change depending on which course I'm using this video for. But the major assignments themselves and what they're supposed to be will be the same. So let me turn it around again so that you can see on this page here what the major assignments are and what I'm expecting to. So here we are on the major assignments page. Our first major project, which will be due very quickly, is an AI project. You know that artificial intelligence has become very much part of our lives these days, and it really bears a question about how much one can use this in a humanities class, or specifically in this Religions of the World course. And so let me show you now what this is all about. So here is the project itself. Again, don't worry about the due date here. That may change depending on which class this is for. But again, artificial intelligence is nothing new, but has developed rapidly in the last years. It offers the possibility of writing entire assignments in minutes. I'm not going to read all of that right now because you can read this yourself. But I want you to do this. I want you to consider the question: is atheism a religion, a religious belief, or neither one of them? So when you first start out, jot down first your own initial thoughts and ideas in your paper. I don't want you to start with AI. I want you to think about this first. What is your first reaction to this? Then I want you to feed that particular question into any kind of AI application. Could be OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Anthropic Claude, Google Bard, whatever you have. Use it and give it the prompt. Write an essay of 250 words on the topic: is atheism a religion, a religious belief, or neither one of them? Then look over, and then you want to post your AI generated essay in your paper. Then after that you want to evaluate that, critique your AI essay. Did the AI generate essay match your original thoughts? Would you have given a different answer? If so, what would you have done differently? And then write a conclusion, reflecting on the temptation of using a generative AI app to write your essay, and what moral and ethical issues you might feel about using the generative AI to write an assignment for this class. So that's the paper. As you can see how it's evaluated, there are going to be 4 points for that. Your initial thoughts will be evaluated. The content of the AI-generated text will be, that gives you 1 point, and then the evaluation of your evaluation of the AI-generated text, and finally your thinking about the specific, ethical issues that are connected with this. Okay, and now to our second major assignment, the research paper, which is actually counting for quite a high amount of points for you. Here we are, the research paper. The assignment is to write a research paper on a topic of your choosing. You can choose from the posted list of suggested topics, and let me just open that up for you for a moment. So here it'll load right now. Here you have the topics. You can choose one topic here. You can either focus on one religion, either on the major holidays and their meanings in the various religions that are there. Maybe you want to think about how did Judaism begin, or how did Christianity begin, or Islam begin. Maybe when did Jesus become divine? That's an interesting question, right? Maybe Martin Luther, is he a reformer or a rebel? You can also do something on Shinto, Shinto references in a Japanese anime movie. Maybe you have seen Spirited Away or Your Name before, and take a look at that and research, what these movies have in terms of Shinto references. You can also do a comparative study. That means, comparing different religions. For example, the creation of the world in Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Or maybe an interesting one is water as a symbol in many religions. You might recognize that water is being used in many religions as a symbol, and maybe that's interesting. What unites and divides the three monotheistic religions? That could be another research topic. Anyway, you can look what these comparative studies are. You can also suggest your own topic. But if you do that, then please run that by me first, so that I can kind of give you an approval for that. All right, so click that away. That paper is supposed to be, so there are guidelines as well. So if you click on the guidelines, it tells you exactly how to write it, right? So here's the point. Choose your topic, then write a pre-writing research, kind of think about in your mind what your idea is or what your thesis is. Given the title you choose, you may have some initial thoughts that you want to support. Find your resources on which you will base your arguments. I want you to use books, newspaper articles, internet. You can use blogs, news, Google, Wikipedia. You can interview people if you want to, but if you interview people, make sure that you record that and then transcribe that so you can actually use that to reference that. Make sure you document your arguments. So when you do your research, I don't want you to only use internet. Make sure that you also use printed material. So either something from the library, you can also use the textbook, or use primary sources also, like the sacred scriptures, the Bible, or the sutras, or something that is a primary source. And then you start writing your paper. State your thesis in your introductory paragraph. Develop your arguments by citing and supporting evidence, and then finish the paper with your concluding paragraph. Again, some of the outside things: you should have your name, name of the course and the semester on it, the title of your paper. You should use the font Times 12 points, double spaced, and it should be a minimum between 5 and 10 pages. And then include at least 3 sources which need to be cited in the text or in the footnotes, as well as in the bibliography at the end of the paper or the works cited section. So that's the research paper. Here again you can see how it's being evaluated, the research content, the analysis, your writing, the assignment details, and what's important is you can earn some extra points here if you submit your paper early. That means by midnight before the due date, then you can earn 2 extra points. Now, in reverse of that, if you are late, like 1 day late, I will take 1 point off. If you are more than 1 day late, you get a deduction of 2 points. No worries, I will not deduct more than 2 points, but here this is an opportunity for you to gain extra points by working ahead of time. And that is the research paper. And now on to our third major assignment. This one counts just as many points as your research paper, which is the site visit report. And I know this is the one where a lot of people are a little bit afraid, because the assignment is to actually visit an event or a religious service of a religion that is not in your background. Now, this is important. If you are a Christian, I don't want you to just go to a church. Go to a Jewish synagogue or go to maybe a mosque. Experience something different. And if that's too threatening to go to a mosque or a synagogue, maybe go to a Buddhist service or event, or to a Hindu temple. I know some people are worried about maybe betraying your faith. Don't see it that way. You're not there to worship there. You're supposed to be like a researcher. somebody who is in a observing situation, somebody who maybe like an anthropologist takes a look at this and see how this works. So let's go and look at what it's supposed to be like. And here is the page for the site visit report. I actually put a little video in here just to show you what I have done. This is a little visit to a Pure Land Buddhist temple in Kyoto that I visited with a Bergen Community College study abroad trip when we went to study religions in Japan. So you can maybe watch this for yourself, but I'll stop that now. So if you don't know exactly where to go, you can potentially look at a suggested site visit locations here. Again, if you click on that, you have a list of various different religious sites. Now, since Christianity is predominant in our country here, I didn't specifically list churches here because I think if you are not a Christian and you want to visit a church, there are plenty of churches around, so there's no need to put anything in here. But all the other things, you have at least some suggestions here that are willing to receive visitors from other religions. Again, there are also guidelines here linked in. So here's how this is supposed to work. Choose the location of a religion you are not familiar with that you want to visit. Ideally, you should visit in person. Only when you have compelling reason for why you cannot attend a service in person, you can do a virtual site visit. However, that will mean a subtraction of 2 points. So check out the location's website for directions and times of worship, prayer, or event. You know, most places have websites, and you might want to look a little bit. Look for the statement of faith on the website. Look for the denomination or expression within the religion. Learn about the tradition's do's and don'ts. For example, know that if you're going to a Hindu temple or a mosque or some other places, you are required to take off your shoes. So make sure you don't bring holy socks with you, right? Or if you are going to a mosque as a woman, know that you should cover your head somehow or another. As a guy, if you're going to a synagogue, make sure you bring a head covering, a little kippah, or the you usually can get that at the entrance of the synagogue. Although the veil for women at the mosque, you need to bring something yourself. So study a little bit ahead of time what behavior you need to expect at the particular place. And then develop questions that you have. So then when you go to the visit yourself, observe everything from the beginning to end. What was it like to enter the location? Were you welcomed by the people? Was it easy to understand what was going on, or did you feel lost? You might feel lost when you see things in a different language, like if you're at the synagogue and everything is being read in Hebrew, you might feel lost. But that's okay. Don't worry about that. You don't have to understand everything. And then, were some of your initial questions answered? Did the experience raise new questions? Maybe you can try to speak to someone from the organization to see if they are willing to help you with your questions. And then comes the writing process, right? Describe your pre-visit research, describe your experience during the visit, discuss your own thoughts and feelings about, and this paper should be 2 to 5 pages long, double spaced, again, times a size 12. And don't forget to credit any citations you're using, including websites and information you quote from the website. So this is pretty much all I said already. Again, don't worry about the due date here. That changes depending on in which course I'm using this this video. And then down here you can see again the rubric, the research paper. Not that this is actually the site visit report rubric. and here you can see that there is a 2-point mark specifically for making an in-person visit. If you do one of the options that are virtual, you will lose those 2 points. However, if you really do have to do a virtual site visit, then you just click next on here, and on this very next page there are suggestions for virtual site visits. Again, this is less preferable than an in-person visit to a real religious service and will cost you a deduction of 2 points. However, if you are absolutely not able to make a physical visit, then here is an alternative. So there are some live streams here for a Jewish service, a Christian service, a Lutheran service specifically, and a Muslim service. And then there are a whole bunch of videos here, YouTube videos, that you could watch and use that as a site visit. Again, that's not the preferable option. And then finally, the very last assignment, which is due on the very last day of the semester, whatever the date is in this course. It's the final learning statement. It's really the same thing as question 11 and all of the quizzes that you are doing on a regular basis. But it basically asks you to reflect upon the entire course and to pick 3 to 5 specific learnings that were important to you from this course and that you will take with you. It's really a way to strengthen your your understanding and your memory, and to kind of reflect upon what this course all meant. So let's look what it's all about. Here is the final learning statement. Again, I said that already. Identify 3 to 5 significant learnings, things you have learned that have emerged from our coursework this semester. The number of pages is up to you, actually, in this case. I'm not telling you what to do. Again, the date, don't worry about this one here in the video. Look on this on your Canvas side to make sure that you have the right dates. If you want to click on the guidelines again, they are right here. Again, that's pretty much what I just said, but you may want to read this carefully for yourself. And then you post it, and that will give you the last 10 points. This will always be 10 points, and please do not forget to do this. Sometimes students have almost done everything at the end of the semester, and they might have 93 points, and the A starts at 95 points. If you do the 10-point assignment here, you definitely get your A, but by not doing that, you may miss the mark and end up with an A- or maybe even a B+. So don't let that happen to you, right? Make sure you do it. And those are all the major assignments. If you have any questions about that, always are welcome to ask, right? I forgot to say actually that with the site visit report, the same thing counts, that if you submit early, by midnight before the due date, you can earn 2 extra points. If you are late, again, I will take 1 point off for the first day and then 2 points off for the second or the rest of the time that you submit late. But I do want to tell you, if for some reason you have not submitted your work on time, by all means, still submit your work. I can accept things all the way up to the end of the semester, out of the last day of the semester. Anything after that I can no longer consider, because I will need to put the grades in, and if I don't have your work, then I cannot consider it. But if you are, for some reason you're running late, do not give it up. Make sure you still do it at least by the end of the semester, or as quickly as possible, to give me enough time to read, right? All right, now let's start our course. Our first lesson on talking about what religion is actually is going to be the next session, and you can do that for the next assignment. Good luck with everything.